a second. Here with Boone Jenner. Played his first game of the year here tonight, and Boone, a lot of good positive things for you to get back in there again. But for the team, obviously the outcome not what you guys wanted it to be. What happened there tonight? It seemed like there were spans where things just weren't clicking for you.
Yeah, I don't think our game was good enough. Not even close. I think you've seen it at times, but the consistency wasn't there tonight at all.
How frustrating is that? And I know you haven't been a part of this losing streak per se, but the fact that it just seems like you can't quite put your finger on what the problem is when those things happen in these kind of games.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. We gotta find a way to get ourselves back on track and back playing the way we can. Because the effort tonight I don't think is half as good as we can be. So we gotta get back to work tomorrow.
Is that the thing that's most frustrating about it? Is if you put out the effort and you lose, that's one thing. But when you can walk away from these games and go, you know what, we just weren't good enough tonight. We just didn't give it enough. Does that make it even harder to swallow?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like I said, the effort wasn't there. I think we all have to be better and better as a group. The consistency isn't there. We let off on shifts, and they take it to us, and that's not the way we play. And you can see it.
On your side, how did you feel after the game tonight?
Felt good. Felt good to be back out there.
And getting in the middle and playing some center before it was all said and done.
Yeah, a bit on the wing, been in center, yep.
All right, Boone, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Boone Jenner talking with us here tonight in the Blue Jackets dressing room. Nick Foligno is talking here. Let's stick a microphone in and listen to him.
Absolutely. How do you win? Usually when you get out of a losing streak or you get yourself back into winning ways, it's because you're crashing the net hard, you're getting ugly goals, you're doing whatever necessary to try and score goals, and we're not doing that. We're trying to make an extra play. We're trying to be too cute, and it's affecting us. I mean, it's causing turnovers which come back at our D. Our D are getting tired, and it wears you down. So. There's no reason why you can't get more shots, and I'm sure that's something that's going to be talked about, and it's disappointing because we're a team that feeds off that. We're a team that feeds off the forecheck. You get a point back up to the point, shot on net, converge, get it back, shot on net. We play hectic hockey, and we're not doing that right now.
And Nick, when you talk about that, obviously injuries are a factor here, but for the guys that are in there, that's the kind of game that everybody is expected to play, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think we're any more injured than any other team right now. We just got two guys back, and I'm so tired of that excuse. It's gone. I mean, 6 games in now of a losing streak, and that excuse is it's sailed for me. I'm tired of losing, tired of this kind of Jekyll and Hyde hockey that we're playing, and I just want to see us be more consistent and just do the little things, because I guarantee you if we do that, we're going to win games.
Have you guys talked about that during this streak, or is this a conversation that really now comes to the forefront after what you saw tonight?
Well, I think it's been talked about, and it's been done for parts of games. It hasn't been, I thought we'd take a lot of great strides in New Jersey and just didn't get the outcome we wanted, but played a really good game, and then to come back here and kind of give that kind of an effort is disappointing, and I don't really know what the reason is for it, and we're going to have to take a long look tomorrow and really try to figure out what it is that's going to take us to get better and to get back on the winning streak, because it's not acceptable in this room right now, and I don't think any guy feels that way, and we want to right the wrong very soon, because these games definitely mean something later on in the year.
Nick, thank you very much. Nick Foligno talking with us tonight here in the Blue Jackets dressing room after this, as you can hear, a very disappointing loss here for the Blue Jackets in the first game of this home-and-home series with the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. Just taking a look around, and not many other guys in this dressing room right now, to be honest with you. A lot of guys heading out here tonight, so it's just we'll head out as well. And head coach Todd Richards will be coming to talk to the media in just a little bit. And again, this was not the plan. It obviously was not the plan. This is not what they wanted to do here tonight. This is you heard Nick Foligno. That's pretty much as raw as you can get right there. To get that reaction from him, and he's one of the leaders in this room, and that's the kind of guy that when he talks, people are going to listen. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of conversation tomorrow and the next day in preparation for that game on Friday in Carolina to make it better. They have got to find a way to make it better. The injury thing that we talked about so many times, you heard what Nick Foligno said about that. No longer that ship has sailed for him. Doesn't want to talk about that part of it. They just have to be better, solid defensively, and I think really, in the case of this team right now, you have to be better from the net all the way up to the forwards. It's as simple as that. We're going to take a break and hear from head coach Todd Richards as we continue here at BlueJackets.com and on the Scioto Downs Columbus Blue Jackets Radio Network. Blue Jackets lose tonight to the Carolina Hurricanes here at Nationwide Arena, 4-2, the final score in this game. And I'll be honest with you, I found myself almost as dumbfounded as the players I just spoke to in the dressing room, Boone Jenner and Nick Foligno, about what went down here tonight. And again, for Boone Jenner, it was his first game of the season, so he has experienced most of this losing streak from afar. But tonight he was in it, he was part of it. But Nick Foligno, he's been in it throughout, with the exception of the Ottawa game that he missed after he got his neck hurt in the Los Angeles game a couple of Sundays ago. So it's surprising to me, is what I'm trying to say. It's surprising to me that this team came out and had that kind of effort, or you can make the argument lack of effort here tonight. I said this morning on my show on CBJ and 30, I said that you have to come out tonight, you have to establish yourself on home ice against this team. This team was technically one of the 2 worst in the league coming into this game tonight, the Carolina Hurricanes. A battle between Carolina and Buffalo to see who is the best master of futility, these 2 clubs. But that was before Carolina beat the Arizona Coyotes 3-0 and then knocked off the defending Stanley Cup champions. So I said this morning, this team is feeling good about itself coming into this game tonight. And what you cannot allow to happen is for them to feel good in this game. You have to come out, you have to score the first goal. You can't let them feel good. Well, what happened tonight? They came out and they scored the first 2 goals in this game. And then the Blue Jackets got that goal late in the third period, and they cut it to a 2-1 deficit, and that was okay at that point because they had the momentum. Things were going in their favor. The shorthanded goal by Justin Falk, to me, turns this thing around and really just changes the direction of it, because you could see the letdown on the part of the Blue Jackets. They're on the power play. They give up the goal. All of a sudden, instead of being back in a 2-2 tie, you're down by 2 again, and then they just never really mustered anything after that until Nick Foligno's second goal of the game there late in the third period, and then that's when they came alive. And I think the question that Nick Foligno was definitely asking there was, why does it take that long? Why does it take that goal to get the team to go back to playing like it should have been playing the entire time? And that's going to be the question. Now, earlier this morning when I talked with head coach Todd Richards, I asked him simply, especially about special teams and about, the penalty kill and the power play. The numbers are down. Those units aren't where you expect them to be, and how much of that has to do with the guys that normally would be on those units that aren't. And he said, well, that's part of it, but the guys that are getting the opportunities to play in those spots have got to play better. And I think that goes across the board. If you're getting an opportunity to play a bigger role, you have got to play it better than they have been playing here in the span of these 6 games. And tonight it didn't happen. So here you go with a team that came in here, the first game of a home-and-home series. And to me, you had to come in and pound this team. You didn't have to beat them 5-1. You didn't have to beat them 5-2. But you had to come in and you had to kind of put your will on this team and have them do what you want to with them. Jody Shelley's here, by the way. If you're watching on BlueJackets.com, he just comes right in there. But let's get Jody's take on this thing tonight, this 4-2 loss to the Carolina Hurricanes. Jody, were you surprised at the effort or the somewhat lack thereof effort in this game by the Blue Jackets?
I was surprised they didn't come out and grab it. I thought that the Carolina, they felt pretty good about themselves to beat the Los Angeles Kings. Columbus is desperate. They're getting 2 players back. There was a lot of turnovers, unforced errors, and I was surprised at that by the Blue Jackets. The effort didn't seem to be there. Todd Richards had to just scramble his lines all night. It was frustrating. You could see the frustration setting in early. I liked the end of the game. I thought that Curtis, after, there was a couple goals that were questionable, but after that 3-1 goal, he locked it down. I mean, they killed all the penalty kills tonight, the Columbus Blue Jackets, which is a positive. He kept them at 3-1 right till the end. They made that push with Foligno. Again, we're talking about him. He had a great night. Made it 3-2. And that push was coming, but they couldn't get it together. The puck bounces over Jack Johnson's stick. Then they go down and score that empty net goal. It just seemed like the Jackets aren't playing their hockey. And I thought that they would come in tonight and play that aggressive, in-your-face, relentless style, and that didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen tonight. And right now, head coach Todd Richards is talking to the media. Let's listen into what he has to say.
It looked like to me like they wanted it more than we did. And I don't know our start going in, what our focus is. Obviously, I have to do a better job because it looked like we were waiting to see which way this game was going to go. And we had stuff to win hockey games with 4 defensemen and 5-6 forwards that are going.
I mean, do you come away from this hoping that this was maybe rock bottom and hoping that you did bottom out because you can only go up from something like this?
I don't know. That I don't know. It was reminiscent for me of the Ranger game last year, when it looked like we couldn't play the game.
Why do you think that? Why would you think that would happen? You would think that in this situation they would be desperate and they would be. I mean, is it? Are they just tentative, or?
You would think that. There's some guys that are engaged in the game. You can see it. Some guys are engaged. Other guys are not engaged. They're waiting for something to happen.
With the second Foligno goal, you thought the last 5 minutes, some of the better offensive hockey you guys played. Do you think that was just a product of pulling it within one, or was that maybe a put your foot down kind of moment for a frustrated group?
We're a reactionary team. We reacted to the goal in this situation. That's the way we played the whole game. We reacted to what was going on in the game, what they were doing, the score, referees. We're reacting to all that instead of coming out and playing a proactive game and going after it. Just very, emotions aside, the anger and all that, it's just, for me, extremely disappointing. For a group that prides itself on work and battle and competing, we had very little of that.
It seemed like in the second period and the third period, just the puck wasn't going towards the net at all. They would just throw it around, have trouble keeping it in the offensive zone. How are you going to get the guys to start throwing the puck on net? I mean, 3 shots on goal in the second period.
Well, it's tough when you aren't skating, you aren't battling. You aren't going to have much success. That's exactly what happened. We spent a lot of time in the box, penalties. And if you're uncommitted to certain things, that's what you're going to get right there.
As far as you know, did you come out of this without losing another player to injury?
Yes.
Well, you can hear that's not very pleasant, that conversation Todd Richards having with the media tonight. No surprise there. Jody, being a former player and being in the situation when you're on a team where this kind of stuff is going on, it is frustrating. It's driving everybody crazy, and nobody's able to really figure it out. Or even if they do figure it out, they're not telling you what it is. What do you have to do as a group of players? Because there's only so much Todd Richards can do, especially this year with the lineup he's already putting on the ice. So from a player's standpoint, what do they have to do to switch this?
Well, I love Todd's honesty right there, right off the top. He just, he's pretty much saying it's on them. They know what to do. I mean, he spent all day putting the game plan together. The players are trying to do too much in some areas, and that may sound like a really weak thing to say, but really, when you try to do too much, you're not doing your game. There's hesitation in guys' game, and in this level, that split second, that half second, creates something totally different. Whether it's a shot that's not getting through, it's getting tipped away. Whether it's a rebound you're not getting to, you got to be on your toes and jumping. And I just think as a player, it's hard. It's just frustrating. And at this point, this team needs to go back to the basics, making sure they can make a pass or 2 passes in a row, making sure they get shots on the net and getting the rebound. Instead of curling away from pucks or making bad decisions away from the puck, they all got to be bought in. And we know that the Blue Jackets have to play that one way, and it's got to be cut by committee. When things were going well last year, we talked about that all the time, Bob. They play and win by committee. It's not one player, one line, one power play, and we're not seeing that as a collective, and they've got to get in that collective mindset and get back to, hey, who do they play next?
Carolina Hurricanes.
Carolina Hurricanes. So they're going to be grumpy going into Carolina on Friday.
Yeah, no question about that. And by the way, when you talk about them playing as a collective, you don't even have to go back to last year. They just have to remember a couple of weeks ago and the way they started the season. That's what they've got to bring back together. And as you said, Friday night's the next opportunity in Carolina.
And it's so rewarding as a player when you know that I know what you're going to be doing, so I'll just do what I have to do. And then, oh, yeah, you are doing what you're doing. And then you just feed off it down the ice, back in your own end. They just don't have that cohesiveness right now.
All right. So, Jody, thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob.
Good analysis on that. That'll do it for our coverage here at BlueJackets.com. But stay tuned. Mark Wyatt has much more to come as you listen to the Scioto Downs Columbus Blue Jackets Radio Network.